Before Hollywood, before the silver screen, there was a real gunslinger whose story became legend. His name was Wild Bill Hickok, and this is how a man became a myth. His story has everything: fame, gunfights, betrayal, and one very unlucky poker hand. James Butler Hickok was born in 1837 in Homer, Illinois. His family stood against slavery, risking everything to help others escape. As a teenager, he headed west. He worked as a stagecoach driver, a scout, a lawman, whatever frontier job promised adventure. And he looked the part. 6 feet tall, flowing long hair, mustache, ivory-handled Colts, and a gaze that could freeze a room. He looked like a character out of a movie, except this was decades before movies existed. On July 21, 1865, in Springfield, Missouri, Hickok's life took a legendary turn. He got into a feud with Davis Tutt, a gambler and former friend. Tensions built until the two men walked into the town square, 50 yards apart, ready for a duel. Tutt drew first. Hickok calmly raised his gun and fired one shot. Tutt dropped. This was one of the first documented quick-draw duels in the American West. Newspapers loved it. Overnight, Wild Bill Hickok became a national sensation. The legend had officially begun. A few years later, Hickok became the marshal of Abilene, Kansas, a wild cattle town. Hickok kept the peace mostly through reputation. People believed he'd killed dozens of men. The truth? Probably more like 6 or 7. Dime novels exaggerated his exploits and cranked his story up to mythical levels. Suddenly, Wild Bill wasn't just a man. He was a Western superhero. Lightning-fast draw, flawless aim, fearless lawman, and Hickok leaned into it. He even toured with Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West show, playing himself in front of live audiences. But glory has a price. Fame turned his shadow long. He sat in every room with his back to the wall, eyes scanning, hand never far from his guns. Because being a legend also made him a target. 1876. Hickok rolls into Deadwood, Dakota Territory. He's 39, his eyesight's going, and the frontier's changing. On August 2nd, he sat at a poker table, breaking his one iron rule: never sit with your back to the door. A drifter named Jack McCall stepped in quietly, raised his gun, and pulled the trigger. Wild Bill Hickok fell without ever drawing his pistol. In his hand lay 2 black aces and 2 black eights, forever known as the dead man's hand. Hickok's death sealed his story in myth. He wasn't just a gunfighter. He was the first Western celebrity, a real man whose life became a legend. The frontier may have closed, but the legend of Wild Bill Hickok still rides. The trail stops here, but the legends ride on. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe to chase the next one.